He left me on red after promising he'd be my perfect rebound. 3 weeks later, he was standing outside my apartment at 1 a.m. in the middle of a snowstorm, blowing up my phone. And this time, I was the one who didn't answer. If you've ever been ghosted, if you've ever stared at your phone wondering what you did wrong, go ahead and hit subscribe. Like this video. Because this one is for everyone who's ever felt disposable and finally decided they weren't. Let's get into it. I had just gotten out of a relationship that wrecked me. Not the dramatic, screaming kind, the quiet kind. The kind where you lose your best friend and your future at the same time. My apartment felt different. Music sounded different. Even my bed felt too big. I told myself I didn't want anything serious. I just wanted a distraction, something light, something meaningless. So I downloaded a dating app, and that's where I matched with him. He was charming immediately, quick-witted, easy to talk to. The kind of guy who knows exactly how to mirror your personality back to you so it feels like chemistry. We started talking every day. Morning texts, late-night conversations, inside jokes forming way too quickly. And I was honest with him. I told him I had just gotten out of something serious, that I wasn't fully healed, that I was probably just looking for a rebound. He didn't hesitate. Honestly, he said, I'd be honored to be your rebound, but I think we could be more than that. More than that. He said all the right things. He told me he respected that I was hurting, that he wouldn't disappear, that he wasn't like other guys on the app. And after a week of constant talking, it felt real. So we hooked up. The night itself, fine, normal, comfortable. The next day, we were still texting. Nothing seemed off. And then something shifted. My message would sit there. Delivered. Read. No response. I'd see him come online, active now, and still nothing. You know that sinking feeling when your stomach drops but you try to convince yourself you're overthinking? I told myself maybe he was busy, maybe work was crazy, but hours turned into a day, then another, and every time I opened the app, there it was. Read. I felt stupid, not just rejected, disrespected. So I sent one last message. Calm, controlled. If you're ghosting me, just unmatch. No drama, no begging. The next time I opened the app, he was gone. Just like that. And I wish I could say I brushed it off, but it hit harder than I expected. It reopened everything. Every insecurity from my last relationship, every fear that I wasn't enough, that maybe my ex was the best I'd ever get, that maybe this was all I deserved, temporary attention until someone better came along. I hated that it bothered me, but it did. 3 weeks passed. Slowly, I started feeling a little more like myself again. Not fully healed, but steadier. And then one night, I got a notification on a different dating app. You have a new like. And there he was. Same smile, same face, different platform. I just stared at my screen and laughed. Because here's the thing. About a week after he ghosted me the first time, I had actually seen him on another app. And in a moment of desperation and confusion, I sent him a like. He viewed my profile and didn't send one back. That stung. But now he was liking me, and I knew exactly what it was. He was bored, or lonely, or horny, and he thought I'd still be waiting. So, I liked him back. Within minutes, he messaged me. Hey, I owe you an apology. Oh, do you? He went on about how he wasn't in a good place and didn't handle things right, and really regretted losing the connection. I could practically hear the copy-paste energy. But this time, I wasn't fragile. I told him if he wanted to talk with me, he'd have to earn my trust back. He agreed immediately. Of course he did. We started talking again, and I'll admit, he put in more effort. Longer conversations, deeper topics. He asked about my life, my goals, my past relationship. But there was one thing he couldn't help himself from doing. He kept turning the conversation sexual. Every time. It didn't matter what we were talking about. Somehow it would drift back to that. And that's when I knew nothing had changed. He wasn't sorry, he was strategic. He thought if he played the long game for a week, I'd fold again. and I decided, fine, let's play. About a week after, I told him he could come over. Saturday, 1 a.m. I said I didn't want my roommates awake. He agreed instantly. Now here's the part that makes me a little proud. It was the heaviest snow day of the year. The kind where the air hurts your face, where the sidewalks are slick and empty. I knew no one would be coming in or out of my building at that hour, and you needed someone to buzz you in. 1 a.m. came. At 12:59, he texted, "On my way." At 1:02, "I'm here." I looked at the message and didn't respond. 5 minutes later, "Hey?" Red. Another 5. "It's freezing, lol." Red. Then, "Can you buzz me in?" Red. He tried calling through the app. I declined it. I could see the typing bubble appear, disappear, appear again. "Are you coming?" And then the best one, "Don't play me." Oh, the irony. I waited until I saw him typing again, and unmatched. Gone. I walked to my window, pulled the curtain back just a little bit, and there he was, standing outside the building entrance, shifting his weight from foot to foot, checking his phone, looking up at the dark windows. After about 10 more minutes, he started pacing. Then finally, he gave up. I watched him practically jog down the sidewalk, shoulders hunched against the wind, slipping slightly in the snow. And I won't lie, I smiled. Not because I'm cruel, but because for once, I wasn't the one staring at a screen waiting. He was. For once, I wasn't the one wondering what I did wrong. He was left outside, cold, ignored, disrespected, exactly the way he made me feel. Now, do I think he went home and had some life-changing realization? Probably not. He probably found another girl to message the next day. But that wasn't the point. The point was that I stopped letting someone treat me like I was convenient. I stopped answering when it suited them. I stopped chasing closure from someone who couldn't even send a 2-sentence goodbye. And something shifted in me that night. It wasn't about revenge, it was about control. About proving to myself that I didn't have to accept crumbs just because I was lonely. As I watched him disappear into the snowy street, I didn't feel petty. I felt calm, like a chapter had closed, like the version of me who waited for replies had finally stepped aside. Sometimes justice isn't loud. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's just letting someone feel exactly the weight of their own behavior. If you've ever been ghosted, I want you to remember this. Their silence is a reflection of them, not your worth. And sometimes the best revenge isn't chasing answers. It's making them realize you're no longer available to play with. If this story hit home for you, drop a comment and tell me, have you ever gotten your little moment of karma? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs a reminder that they're not disposable.